Maintenance of brake system. Brake pedal. The free stroke of brake pedal should be in accordance with the original manufacturer's instruction. Reference value 10 to 15 mm. Air compressor. The air compressor housing is clean and has no crack. Various bolts are fastened. There's no external leakage and no air leaks from the intake and exhaust pipes. The upper cover cooling water pipe is connected reliably, free from leakage. Inflation speed rate. Run the engine in medium speed. The air pressure should increase to 0.40 to 0.45 megabar from 0 megabar. Air condenser. The condenser is fitted firmly, and the joint works normally and has no leakage. Air dryer and four-way protection valve. For the temperature-controlled switch for the air dryer, the heater works normally, and the indicator lights up when the ambient temperature is below 4 degrees centigrade. Replace the air dryer every 40,000 kilometers or 1 year. Do it in shorter period in case of bad conditions or high humidity of air. Air tank. The air tank is firm and the water drain valve works normally. It is best to drain the water from the air tank every day. Do it at least once a week. The air pressure gauge sensor and low pressure warning switch are fitted firmly and have no leakage. And the wiring harness are connected reliably and do not interfere with each other. Pipe joint and various valves such as brake master cylinder, relay valve, quick release valve, and two-way valve. Various valves and joints should be fitted firmly, work effectively and react quickly, and there is no air leakage from them. The brake pipe is not scratched or aged. Inspection of brake hole. It does not interfere with various body parts, and no aging, crazing, and abnormal wear can be found on it. Otherwise, renew it. Special cold resistance brake hoses are used in the cold areas. Brake chamber. There is no air leakage in the brake chamber and no crack on the casing. No obvious wear or deformation is found on the push rod and it can return smoothly. It is fastened. The thread fork and the push rod are fastened and no air leaks from the air pipe joint. Inspection and fastening of bracket bolt. Check and tighten the fastening bolt for camshaft bracket and brake wall panel. Inspection and adjustment of brake arm. Apply lithium-based lubricating oil on a slack adjuster every 20,000 kilometers. Rotate anti-clockwise the warm hexagon head of the slack adjuster every 20,000 kilometers and measure if the rotating torque is more than 18 Nm. Repeat this 3 times. If the measured torque is less than 18 Nm, it indicates that the slack adjuster is damaged and must be renewed timely. The clearance is 0.3 to 0.8 mm for common slack adjuster and 0.8 to 1.2 mm for automatic slack adjuster. Inspection of brake. There is no crack and obvious deformation on the brake shoe, and no cracking, aging, and oil stain on the brake lining, which is riveted properly. The thickness of brake lining should be no less than 11 mm, and the distance from rivet head and lining surface should be no less than 2 mm, and the support pin is not worn excessively, and the fixing bolt is fastened properly. There is no obvious deformation on the return spring, and its free length and tension are in accordance with the regulation. There is no crack on the hub or brake drum, which is free from any groove, and the inspection hole of the brake drum is in good condition, and all well-tie bolts are in good condition and the same specification. All nuts are fastened, and the inner nut is riveted effectively. Inspection and maintenance of hub bearing. The bearing retainer is not ruptured, the roller does not come off, and neither the roller nor the bearing inner seat ring is cracked or ablated. As there is no mandatory replacement period for the bearing, renew it when necessary. Apply number 2 lithium-based grease on inner and outer bearing. The maintenance period for hub bearing is 25,000 to 40,000 kilometers. The axial clearance of hub bearing is 0.04 to 0.12 mm. Lubrication of brake system. Apply general number 2 lithium-based grease at lubricating points. Disc brake. Check the thickness of brake lining and promptly renew it when its wear indicator lights up. For the renewal of brake lining, all the 4 brake linings for the 2 brakes of the same axle must be renewed together. The allowable minimum thickness of the brake disc is 39 mm. Push or pull the brake caliper body horizontally in the direction of guide bush, which should slide smoothly. Check if there is a crack or other damages on the guide bush dust cap and renew it if necessary. Check if there is any sign of corrosion and damage on the brake caliper body and the floating caliper clearance is 0.6 to 1.2 mm. Check if there is any sign of corrosion and scratch and damage on the surface of brake disc, and rotate the disc to check if it can rotate freely. Then drag forcibly the brake back and forth in the direction of guide bush to make sure it can slide freely on the bush. Rotate clockwise the manual slack adjuster with a 10 mm open-end spanner to make the brake lining touch the brake disc. Then unscrew the adjuster reversely for a circle to ensure the brake disc can rotate freely. The automatic adjusting mechanism for the disc brake, which has been applied for several times, will adjust the clearance between the brake lining and shoe to the correct value.